My name is Alwyn Lunan. I grew up in Jamaica, in the parish of Trelawney, and I was there. I went to school. The elementary school was called Waldensia School. It was run by a Baptist church. Uh, I, I have two brothers and a sister. The sister is still in Jamaica. Also, the younger one is still in Jamaica. He has a family. The elder brother is in Canada. He lives in British Columbia with his wife Enid, and he has a son, John. And they are there since 1968. And then in 1961, that's the time that I came to England. So 1961, I think it was April, about the second week, I think, in April. And the reason why I came to England, there was an advertisement on our local paper, evening paper, that they're recruiting nurses from Jamaica. And I just applied, and I was accepted. So I came, and I came to a hospital called Brockhall Hospital there in Lancashire. And there I was trained as a nurse. 3 years as a nurse I trained there, and then I went to Blackburn Royal Infirmary and trained as a general nurse. And then went back to the original hospital at Brockhall. And there I was invited to be a teacher to teach nurses. So obviously I became a tutor, nurse tutor. And along with that, I was working as a nurse tutor. I can't remember the exact year, but it was over maybe 15 years as a nurse tutor. And I took early retirement in 1994. And from there, I should have mentioned earlier on about my marriage, because in 1985, I met my wife. She's a Filipino. We got married. We had a daughter. Her name is Winnie. She's grown up now. I think she's 36 years old now. And she's a doctor, and she's working there in Birmingham. And she's married also. She's married to a pastor, Pastor Michael Campbell. They have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Yes, I was born as a Seventh-day Adventist. My parents, my dad he knew the message, but he didn't actually attend church. My mother was a Baptist, and she was baptized early on. I think it was in the 1950s, 55, 54, 55. She was baptized in the Adventist faith. But my father, he was a priest of the home, because we have regular worship. And as I said before, he didn't actually go to church, but he was very religious, and he believed in prayer. We had morning devotion, evening devotion, every day. There was no time missing out of that. And as a family, we believe in prayer. If there was any difficulties or problems around us, we all go into a series of prayer. He was one that believed in prayer, and we see God's work miracles in our families. So that's one of the reasons why I became a Seventh-day Adventist myself, because I was baptized when I was 12 years when I was baptized. Unfortunately, when you are young, you're not truly converted as such. But over the years, as I experienced God's leading, that's the time when I could say that I became a hardened Christian. and believed that the Lord was working in my life. But I was told that there was a church in the town of Blackburn because I was living in Lango, which is about maybe 4 miles away from the town center. And I was told that there was a church in Blackburn, and I came and I found this church. And I became a part of the church. It was a rented hall over a bank. It weren't actually owned by the Adventist group. It was a rented apartment. And then when we left that, we went into the Oddfellow, rented another place in the Oddfellow in Victoria Street in Blackburn. And from there, the pastor, I think it was Pastor Dr. Beardsell was the pastor, and he said we should get a place for ourselves that we own. And he was the one that went around. We all sacrificed. We did the products and we sold products. And there was one particular family, the Barron family. They were doing knitting and selling knitted articles in order to raise the fund for this church. But Pastor Beardsell was the one that raised quite a lot of money, and we purchased the church. I think we paid something like £40,000 for the church. But the church was just an old building. It was a printing place. So there were no separation, no compartments within it, just a building, a plain building with an office there. And we were the one that actually got it organized. We got builders to came in and we separate. We had the, how could I call it? We had the actual area for worship. Then we had another part there for recreation as a guest playroom. We had another back there for the young people with snooker playing there. And then we had toilets and side rooms for study for the children to use as their own classrooms. And right at the front we had the four there, the four, where the entrance of the church. Yeah, it's all done by us. We carpeted the whole entire place. We had toilets erected inside. So we did that, and we had a kitchen added to it, whereby we were able to make very small meals. Yes. The main families that were very active in the church and actually raising funds for the church was the Barron. It was the Barron, Frank Barron and Ruth Barron. They were a couple. They had the 3 children. They had I think it was Ziggy, Wilfred, and both of them are in America. And also Ella. Ella was the girl of the family, and she's in Canada also. But we also have a family there, the Service family. It was Barbara Service and Stan Service. They were stalwart people in the church. They're the one that spent a lot of time in decorating the church and painting and making sure that the work was carried out effectively in the church. And then we have the Lunans, myself and Zenny. We had people from Preston that assisted us. We have Brother Harris. He was the carpenter. He was one that did the separation, the different sections in the church. We had also Owens and quite a number of people. We have Sister Gregson. We had Brother Olden. We had Brother Chadwick. He was one of the elders of the church. And who else? We had, there's quite a number there, but the names fail me. But Had quite a number of the elderly members that have passed on by now. Initially, the first, it was all English members within the church, and they were the leaders in the church. And many of them, they were elderly. I would say they were insular. They didn't do any outreach in the communities. So over the years, they fail out. And so they could see that there was some sort of, they were the prominent people in the church. The blacks weren't given any sort of officers in the church. They were just members there. So that was the sort of experience that I had. But once many of them actually passed on, then gradually the blacks from the West Indies, chiefly, they were the one that actually started leading out in the church. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't experience in the church, I didn't experience any sort of segregation, but I could see that the English, the majority in the church, they were the one leading in the church. This was a stand service. It was the first black elder in the church, and he was there for quite a long time. And he was, I forget how many years, I would say he was there maybe as an elder for maybe 10 years, 11 years maybe. When he retired, because he went back to Jamaica, they bought a house and built a house in Jamaica, so he went back. When he went back, I was nominated as the next elder. And I was elder for quite a considerable time. And I think William was the one that actually succeeded as an elder. And William, as you know, is still the elder of the church. As West Indian, as immigrants coming in and actually having a part in official role in the church, we could see a difference, because in the time when they were just English leading out, we attended church from 10 o'clock, and then the Sabbath school, divine service, after the divine service, we went home. There were no young people's meeting in the afternoon. But since since the Caribbean people took over, then we started operating that we have an extension of the service, as we experienced in Jamaica, wherever we came from. So there was a definite change. I would like to see the church an inclusive church, not just the blacks, West Indian, I know they use the word blacks, but West Indian immigrants actually just in charge. I would like to see an integrated church, whereby we have the ethnic group plus the Caribbean members working together more effectively. And we are told that quite a number of West Indians and the Filipinos and young people are out there, but they're not coming into the church. We would like to see a more outreach, whereby we can go and we can get these people back into the church and show interest and let them feel that they're a part of the church, and make them feel comfortable with us rather than they staying out and not coming in. Well, technology is there to stay, and it's very helpful, because in the past we can see, for example, the projection of maybe the scriptures on I know we might say that it prevents people tend to get used to it and they don't use the Bible as they should. But I think it's useful, because if you have any sort of seminars or anything, the technology is very effective. And And people, I'm sure people get used to it now. If you look around today, everybody has iPhone and so technology is very useful. It's one that will be with us for a long time, and it's one that we can use for our advantage if we use it correctly. But we also have to encourage people not just to depend on it, but go back to using the Bibles and study and so forth. And not just coming to church and there everything is provided. They too have to make an effort in reading their Bibles and knowing why they are Seventh-day Adventists. So if they are asked, they'll be given an intelligent answer to any question that people may want to ask.
Although Elder Lunan no longer holds an official position within the church, he remains actively engaged in all church activities and serves as a role model for the youths of our church. Amen. We express our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering commitment and dedication to the Blackburn Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it is with immense gratitude that we honor you today. What does the church say? Amen.
On behalf of Blackburn Seventh-day Adventists, I would like to present this token of appreciation for the service that